it's the vibe, and no, that's it, it's the vibe.
Hello my darlings, and welcome to It's the Vibe, where I read books from the subreddit, books that feel like this. So I submit images and Reddit users give me their recommendations for books that suit the imagery. So my submission this time was art by Chloe Shao. I would say that Chloe's art is very botanical, anatomical dream logic surrealism. There is a gentle uncanniness that creates a sense that the psyche is organic, growing, and transforming. It's very early memory, vulnerability, and inner ritual. The childhood imagination refined through adult awareness. It's inner emotions that take physical form, and transformation is soft, strange, and deeply human. I have picked 2 books to read based on the suggestions. The first one was A Guide to Being Born by Ramona Ausubel. I have to say that this cover is phenomenal. I am obsessed with it, and I think just based on the cover alone, it's a good match. So this is a surreal, odd, kind of nonsensical short story collection. You have teen mums who might be giving birth to a menagerie, dead grannies who float on a boat, a woman who gets grapes behind a church, and mothers who swallow their developmentally delayed daughter's breast buds. This is the equivalent of taking a perfectly normal life moment, say, like falling in love, having a baby, confronting your mortality, and then saying, okay, but what if it was fucking weird? In the most strange way possible. I'm just hyper aware of my titties. I'm not wearing a bra and I'm hoping I do not flash. Now, I know that these stories are about bodies. They're about transformation, connection, and the way that love changes us, sometimes quite literally, but I just didn't get it. I did not get it. It was too abstract and also quite depressing. There's a lot of death, rape, and defects in this book. So unfortunately, I didn't like it. I've given it a 1.5. But does it suit the imagery I submitted? Yes, it really does. It's a lot about surrealism used to explore the body and emotion. Like you can see in the images, you've got brains sprouting roots, shells containing galaxies, flowers blooming from limbs, and tiny humans moving through impossible organs. And this author's stories do the same thing. You've got women giving birth to animals, people growing extra arms when they fall in love, and grief, pregnancy, and love distorting reality. So both of the artists are using physical metamorphosis to reveal emotional truths in their works. There's also similar themes. So in the art, you've got eggs, newborn dolls, shells, seeds, roots, small figures, tending to large symbolic natural forms. And then in the novel, you've got conception, pregnancy, transformation, and the strange beauty and fear of becoming something new. So the emotional themes overlap with these images and this book. So it was an apt recommendation, it's just I didn't like the book. The next book I was recommended was The Seep by Chana Porter. So imagine, if you will, a sentient, advanced kombucha SCOBY like alien form that comes to Earth and decides to fix society by completely just immediately dissolving capitalism and all of the world's hardship and struggles as if it's an aspirin in a glass of water. That entity is the Seep. So in this book we have Trina, who is a 50-year-old trans woman vibing in this new utopia, living with her wife Deba blissfully, until Deba decides to literally respawn as an infant and wants Trina to be her new mama. Trina, quite understandably, does not handle this well and goes on a bender. Along the way, she meets this lost boy from the Compound, which is a community of humans who are opting out of this Seep utopia and to stick to traditional human ways of living and boycott drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak. Trina then adopts a drunken side quest to save him from this alien enlightenment while also still wrestling with the loss that is in her heart. It's a novella that's about grief, rebirth, and cosmic goo. It's a very weird, heartfelt, existential sci-fi that asks, what if utopia is actually kind of not deep? An alien-run paradise that's as unsettling as it is seductive. The Seep has made it so that humans no longer need to work. It fulfills all of their physical needs and provides all of their requirements. They spend their time doing whatever they want, which seems to include very weird bodily modifications. You want a unicorn horn? You got it, boo. The Seep essentially promises you everything except suffering. Which brings us to the question, what makes life meaningful if everything is possible and there is no struggle? I found this quite thought-provoking. It was interesting to think about. Would I want to opt into this utopia, or would I prefer to have the highs and lows, the sorrow and joy, the black, white, grey, and all everything in between of the human experience? I don't know if humans are designed to have absolutely no dis-ease, to have no hardship, to have no effort needed, to just simply vibe. As I said, some human beings, I think, to combat the boredom of bliss, go on to do things like heavily modify their physical bodies. I think they end up seeking novelty in different ways in order to feel something, to have change. I think not all of us are wired for the monotony of utopia. But would it be great if everyone had their basic needs met, like food and water and shelter? Yes, absolutely. But I think taking away the emotion of pain and loss and grief, and not allowing really humans to contribute to society, to interact in that way, wouldn't be as beneficial. Is this like the images submitted? I do think it is. I do think it is. In the images, you've got tiny people performing impossible tasks in this giant surreal ecosystem. And I think that's how Chana feels throughout the book. She is this small, fragile human who is navigating a world that has been reshaped by an incomprehensible alien consciousness. You never really completely understand the Seep in this. And I also think that the images of watered brains surrounded by both drugs and idyllic bliss. And just to clarify what happened to her wife, she did end up being reborn as an infant, but not raised by her wife, raised by another family. So you can choose to, in a sense, reincarnate if you want to. And that's what she wanted to do. I guess she thought, oh, I've had enough of this, wonderful, wonderful marriage with my wife. I want something different. I want something new. I'm going to be reborn again and start all over and have a different experience. So it was very hard for Chana to come to grips with that. Her wife is dead, but she's not dead. But her wife chose to leave her. So in a sense, it is almost like she's dead. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4 stars. So those were all of the books that I read for this It's the Vibe. Let me sum them up for you. So we have A Guide to Being Born, stories by Ramona, Ausubel, a surreal story collection about love, birth, life, and the strange transformations, physical and emotional, that accompany being human. And then we had The Seep by Chana Porter. A grieving woman navigates alien utopia after her wife reincarnates as a baby and leaves her with heartbreak, booze, and a cosmic identity crisis. In terms of activities today, I'm just going to be heading to the library to pick up some new books, so I will do a little library book haul for you in this video, and so I'll catch you later.
Here's my little beautiful girl. Oh.
Hello my darlings, I'm back. So I picked up The Transformations by Andrew Pipos, and this says it's a portrait of a vanishing world and a love story for the ages. It's about Australia's print journalism era. So you've got a dude named George who works at a newspaper, and he has a late night encounter with an unorthodox and self-assured reporter named Cassandra, and they begin to unravel both of their carefully managed worlds. So we'll see how we go. It might not be for me, but we'll try it out. And then I've got The Shapeshifter's Daughter by Sally Magnuson, 2 worlds, one golden winter. Nothing on earth or below it freezes faster than the worthless heart. So this is a story about hell from Asgard. And then also a human who has a terminal cancer diagnosis, Helen Firth, who decides to return home to die. But it seems that the Norse myth hell and the human hell cross paths. So I'm intrigued. And then we've got The Law of Silver by Ruth Francis Long, A Stolen Relic, A Missing Girl, A Horror Unleashed. So with these books, I don't know anything about them, not seen them before. I literally just like to go to my library and look at their newly in shelf and just grab whatever I think might be worth a look. So it says this is about Lita. She's in love with a dude who's bound to a queen, and then she's asked to recover stolen relics and track down a trickster god. So it looks like there's a pre-established relationship in this. It's Kit, Mrs. Ben, and then you've got someone named Kit, her brother, and Kit, Mrs. Ben. So some gay stuff maybe in this too. Brother, sister. I don't tend to love brother-sister stuff, but like I said, it doesn't cost me anything to take it home and try it. We've got a map here. So these were just the 3 books on the shelf that looked interesting to me. And that is everything. Until next time, stay vibing, Star Child.
It's just the vibe of the thing.